All right, it's decision today because Oklahomans in 28 counties head to the polls voting on these school bond issues, tax proposals, or city-county elections.
Yeah, the biggest school bond vote is in the MidDel district, where voters are being asked to approve a $191 million bond. Now, under this plan, 6 older neighborhood schools would close and 4 new schools would be built. If approved, the changes would take effect by the 2013 school year. And joining us this morning is Stacy Boyer, Director of Community Relations of MidDel Schools. And Stacy, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Because a lot of people have questions. I grew up in this school district. I went to Ridgecrest Elementary, and I know that there's a lot of dilapidated schools over there that need to be fixed.
Right.
But that being said, how are you going to consolidate these schools?
Well, really what we're going to do, we're going to go from 26 schools to 20. That would be four brand new elementary schools. We'll be closing Highland Park Elementary, Traub Elementary, Sooner Rose Elementary, as well as Steed Elementary. And then we'll be merging 2 of our middle schools from Jarman and Monroney to 1 school in Midwest City. And then we'll also merge Delcrest Middle School and Kerr Middle School together to 1 middle school.
You know, and following this question up, and this
Sure.
is the biggest thing for me, because I went to Jarman as well.
Yes.
You know what? You're talking about an emotional consolidation of
Absolutely.
students from one rival school to another rival school, and I think that needs to be taken into consideration, and I hope it is being, that these two, it's like oil and water for some of these schools.
And I can relate to that because I'm on the other side of the community. I'm the Del City side. I went to Delcrest, and you have Kerr and Delcrest merging as well. Something that we've noticed, our enrollment has steadily declined, especially in the secondary level. Kerr Middle School, for instance, had around 1,200 students at one time. Now it has just over 500. At Jarman and at Kerr both, we are having a hard time making out athletic teams even. So they've been joining together with the other schools and having combined athletics already. So I think that's really helped with a lot of things. You can also look at Carl Albert Middle School. We've had great success with just having 1 middle school versus the 2 rivals. So they become a titan early on at 6th grade, and they go all the way through their senior year. So it's
let
been
me
really
ask
good.
you, what happens if this doesn't pass? I mean, what are we looking at if this bond issue fails today?
Well, that will be a very difficult time for our school district if this does not pass. Just to merely put it in numbers, we're looking at a $10 million shortfall for the next school year.
So what will that mean?
Well, that can mean, you know, in school districts, 90% usually of your
Layoffs.
funds are in people. And so that is something that we will definitely have to consider because that is the majority of your money.
Well,
And
money's tight, and, you know, everyone's
Money's very
thinking
tight.
more taxes or, you know, property taxes. People are
Right.
worried about so many things.
Right.
You know, it's hard to sell it on one hand and desperate on the other hand.
Exactly, exactly. And what we're really looking at, the main thing we've been focusing on is saving our people and still keeping those programs for our kids, because that's the most important thing.
You know what, though? I've had so many phone calls and emails from teachers over in that district that aren't buying it. They are saying, no, there is still going to be layoffs. We are still in jeopardy of losing our jobs. No matter what they're telling you, it's not true.
Well, that's unfortunate because, you know, we have to see those numbers. I can tell you if we continue to have cuts on the state level, I think that is entirely possible. But if we don't do this, it will be even more dramatic than anyone can probably imagine.
So if the bond issue passes, you think there won't be cuts, or is it still up in the air then?
Well, what we look at, if the bond issue passes, we would sell off some of those buildings immediately. And something that we experience in MidDel through is attrition every year. We have quite a few people leave, whether it's being military spouses or you just decide to
But
stay
has it been
home.
talked about? I mean, let's
Absolutely.
Be, I mean,
oh,
let's
yes.
be
We've
real
talked
here.
about every possible
Okay.
option, and we've talked about that with our staff as well. We've met with every staff in every building.
And we don't really have, we're out of time right now, but busing, has that already been
Yes,
talked about
yes.
as well? Because that's going to be a biggie.
Any child that's over a mile will be bused, and we have funds in our MAPS money to pay for any buses if
Okay,
needed.
wonderful. I can't believe there's not going to be any Steed Chargers anymore. So
Well,
I'm emotionally distraught.
Well,
polls open at 7 this morning and go until 7 tonight, and then we'll have the results on news9.com right after the polls close. Stacy, thanks for coming in. I'm sure we'll be talking with you after we get the results.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
All right. Now, what's going on in the Oklahoma City Public School District? Are you guys going to be talking about doing this too? Who knows, huh?
Who knows?
Year-round school.
One battle at a time,
Yeah.
eh,
Exactly.
Stacy?
Because last night in Oklahoma City for the public school district, the board met and it was a unanimous vote on the continuous learning calendar for the students. So beginning next year, this is a big deal. If you're waking up and you go to any Oklahoma City public school, you will attend the same number of school days. Only now the fall, winter, and spring breaks will be longer in exchange for a 2-month-long summer, and that really is leaving some parents not happy with the change.
If you change the calendar and you don't change the parental involvement, that's not really going to help.
So a lot of folks sounding off about this. We're asking you to chime in this morning, too, at 79640. Andy says, I remember throughout my school years, I always got bored during the last month of summer break. I would have loved this personally.
But Les disagrees with it, saying, I think there will be a lot more dropouts over the long run.
And Serena thinks this will help with money issues, saying long summer breaks probably put a strain on finances of parents with children in daycare. It is better this way.
While Justin, glad he isn't in the Oklahoma City School District. He says, thank God I go to Deer Creek Public Schools.
And don't forget, you can chime in this morning. A couple of comments here. I think it's a bad idea for everyone. I think year-round school is a great idea. It almost is kind of a split decision of what we've been getting from the comments.
One says, I hope Edmund makes the same decision. The other one says it's good for the kids. What about the parents that can't take the extra weeks off? And who's going to watch the kids and who's going to pay for that?
Yeah. So
a lot of valid points there.
Well, it's going to change the way the family dynamic shapes, especially if you have parents that have to work and then kids off, longer breaks at the fall and at Christmas. So we'll be watching what happens.